There's mixed reaction to not.
Jagged metronome of typewriter keys. A simple thought brings you to me, and I'm thankful every day. I'm so glad I found you the old-fashioned way. In a time when we want it all, everything so fast. Write a text, no time to call. To slow down, oh, I pray. I'm so glad I found you the old-fashioned way. From a pen, feel the weight as the words sink in. My mind moves too fast for my hand. I need to tell you this while I still so dark that warm summer night. I much prefer it to the bright blue light. And I feel the need to say, I'm so glad I found you the old-fashioned way. From a pen, feel the weight as the words sink in. My mind moves too fast for my hand. I need to tell you this while I still metronome of typewriter keys. Another page done, my soul at ease, and I'm thankful every day. I'm so glad I found you the old-fashioned way. I'm so glad I found you the old-fashioned way. I'm so glad I found you the old-fashioned way.
How's it, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Pidgin. My name's Andy Bumatai.
And I'm Keone Nunes.
Yeah, that's right. The part of James Mane will be played by Keone Nunes.
Yes, yes. The smaller, little bit lighter but much older.
And how much did you have to lift the chair so we match?
All the way to the max.
Brother was like, yeah. So you know, guys, we weren't planning to do a show, and I told James, "Hey, we're not going to do one show, bro." And so he committed to his coaching thing. He coaches kids football, right? And then I remembered, I scheduled you to be on for the 16th, and we went through so much to just be able to grab you with all you have going on and your globe-trotting. We had to do a show. So brother showed up. I had to put the whole studio back together. And anyway, welcome, my friend.
Oh, mahalo.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
And what brings you to Hawaii?
We just needed to do some things, every so often I'll come back to Hawaii, and I won't tell anyone that I'm coming back, just because every time I tell people I'm coming back, all of a sudden my calendar is full.
Boom.
Yeah, and then unfortunately we don't complete the things that we were supposed to do. Yeah. So,
I know a little bit about that. Poor Keone, he's sitting here and he's going, "Hey, bro, you heard about..." Wait, so hold on. I got to do this. I got to do that. Trying to put this thing together. And that's a microcosm of what you go through.
Yeah. So I'm just here for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
1 week has already flown by. And so we got like 6 days left to complete everything. And so, I have to buckle down and do some other things. But of course, I got to come visit you. Come on now.
Mahalo nui loa, my brother. Hail to thee.
Hail to thee.
Hey, I want to talk a little bit about the tattooing, right?
Okay.
But for those of you who may not know, Keone is a world-renowned traditional tattooist, and by traditional I mean he doesn't use a machine. He uses the tapping technique that goes back, and he's again a world authority on this, and not only on the Hawaiian style but the Filipino and the Taiwanese, and he travels the world all over. That's why even though we went to high school together, it still blows my mind that that you're so renowned. In fact, I don't know if I told you, and I don't mean to sound like a fanboy here, but when Timex came to you and asked you to design a watch face for them, I bought one. Yeah, I'm serious, and I gave it to one of the people who watched the show. Yeah, so wow, you know. So, how's the world traveling going?
After COVID, it started opening up a little bit and all of that. And so, we're not supposed to mention that online, but, I think that...
James is here.
Hey, James.
Hey, who's in my seat?
He get the words wrong. He says, "We pledge to thee."
No, that's his,
but I think he's dyslexic, just like you.
No, thank you. Thank you. But anyway, so you've been traveling.
So I've been. I went to Taiwan, and I'm kind of looking forward to going to northern India, because northern India has a group of people called the Naga people, and the Naga people are probably where we got our tapping tradition from.
Really?
Yeah, we started from that. Wow. Because there's one tribe of Naga that they don't tap, but they use the ads just like, and they use it like this to tattoo the skin. Yeah. And the next tribe uses a stick. So that's the earliest that I've seen culturally that use that. And they don't look like how we envision Indians. They look more like Southeast Asians, more Asian than...
When you say Indian, you're not talking about the American Indian
no.
or the East Indians?
East Indians,
Okay.
Yeah, and so they don't look like East Indians. They look more like Southeast Asians or, so it's kind of really interesting. So...
Well, I'll tell you what, that explains why Kikaida was so popular then. Yeah. Because you remember the song, Chiro Changey, and you got that at one part where people just went, naga, 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 na. But these are Naga people. That's
Yeah,
what they're
Naga.
called.
Yeah.
Is it is like, is that the land is called Naga, or are
Well,
they
they-
Nagaonians or what?
Yeah, they actually call the place Nagaland now.
okay.
But they wanted to secede from India. So for the longest time, there was a sort of like a civil war going on over there. But after the recent health events, that simmered down.
Yeah,
And so now it's kind of open to people. But there are videos on the Naga tribe, and in fact, they have some older people in their 70s and 80s that are fully tattooed.
Wow.
And so it'd be interesting to do that. Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask you a question before I
Sure.
forget, because, you know, when people find out you're going to be on, and just like your calendar, they start, hey, ask them this, ask them that, you know what I mean?
No problem.
But here, Miles, you know, medium 7-Up from
Right.
Boston, spends every year, spends a couple months here every year. He says here, if I could have one question for Keone, would love to hear more about the process of training your apprentices. What's the average number of years until you, quote, graduate, unquote, and then what is the process called in Olelo, Hawaii?
It's interesting because it's very, very different than a Western apprenticeship, if you will, because they start by stretching the skin, and they're just mea kokua at that time, you know. Then afterwards,
So
they-
helpers. in
yeah,
that,
helpers in essence. Then afterwards, they come into a point where they become more serious about it, and they start making their own tools and all of that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Then I take them through that process. Throughout the whole thing, we're learning about protocol, we're learning about genealogies, we're learning about designs. Well, they are. And then they become what is called mo'okane. The mo'okane is people who are on track to uniki, to graduate. Yeah. So they spend some time as mo'okane, where their skill level is pretty much developed at that time.
Do they get any designation? I mean, it's a terrible analogy, but in martial arts, you get a brown
Yeah.
belt, you get a black belt, you get the red stripe. I mean, is there anything like that?
Not necessarily. You know, mo'okane is a designation in itself. And so right now I have 3 mo'okane and 1 mea kukua. He lives in San Diego. Salt Lake City, though. So it's kind of difficult for him to really, you know, learn hands-on. So after that, they graduate. But even after they graduate, one thing that, Sihana Mo'okane, one thing that people don't understand is when you graduate, that doesn't mean you know everything in a Hawaiian sense.
Wow.
So when you graduate, that's when your deep learning starts.
You know what? And again, here I am comparing it to martial arts. You know, anybody who's really into it understands black belt is the beginning.
Right.
It means you have the tools to learn further.
Exactly. And so, and until the time comes where I die, you know,
Not during this show, okay?
Yeah,
Please, because we just,
I'll
you know.
definitely try not to.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
But what happens is that pokoliti, it's not mo'okane in that sense. It's not lizard man.
Mo'o is a
yeah.
gecko in Hawaiian.
Mo'o also means it's in reference to mo'okuahau, like a genealogy and all of that kind of stuff. So it's slightly different. But anyway, until I'm no longer in this physical presence, then someone else who I choose will take my place.
Wow.
Yeah. but there can only be one really expert, if you will, at a time.
Wow. Here, someone was asking here. Let me go to this. Someone was saying, I want to hear. Namaste Zen first asks,
Right.
how do the tattoos on, I don't know how to pronounce that, Otzi,
Yeah.
Australian mummies fit into the history of tattooing?
Well, the reality is that people tattooed for thousands of years, yeah.
Yeah.
And so every culture pretty much had one type of tattoo that they would do. The older style of tattooing was what they call hand picking, and so it's like you. I know you never. You was a good kid in school.
Oh,
yeah.
don't tell me the needle with the
Yeah,
thread.
exactly. That's an older style, and so that's
Right here.
Yeah, oh, you did. Oh, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's an older style. Then from there, it evolved to different ways of doing tattoos. One was the long needle that you still see in Japan and parts of Southeast Asia. Then the last style that was traditional style I'm talking about, the last traditional style was the tapping style. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it does play a part within the history of tattooing, but it's not directly connected to because what she's referring to is one that was handpicked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Terry in Scotland, mahalo for bringing your party of 6 over. We got a raid. Mahalo. And Carl in Arkansas just subscribed. Mahalo, you guys. Really appreciate it. Our special guest is Keone Nunes, world-renowned tattooist on the traditional style, and Waianae boy, who never used the needle with the thread
No,
for make
no.
the initial. Plenty of people did, though.
Oh yeah, plenty people did.
Many people did.
And I've covered plenty of them.
Do people come to you for cover-ups?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, MG. I didn't think you would do that.
Well, it's a cover-up, but the tattoo will always be there. But when someone has a name of a girlfriend that or a boyfriend that they broke up with, and it caused them pain, definitely. I'll
But
do
that's like the reverse of what, your thought of a tattoo is.
Right.
Because when we spoke about it, when we were in your studio in Waianae, you were saying that it's the beginning of a new journey.
Right, exactly. And that's what many people get work from me. I try and explain to them it's not a completion of what you're doing, but it's a start of your journey. And although you might have completed something and we can recognize that within the tattoo, the reality is that from this time on, your essence has changed. Miles might be real good to see if that's happened to him, after getting some work done.
Yeah, he talked about that, and he sent me a picture, but he says this is not for public consumption because he's adhering to the ideology.
Yeah. But just as whether or not he felt any kind of change within himself, I think that's important. Yeah.
Joanne, she says, may I have the link to the Red Cross? Okay. There's a couple ways you can do it. First of all, I think I may have, hold on, I'm a little bit clunky here. You see this right here? If you scan that, and don't take a picture of it, but put your picture on, put your phone in picture mode, roll over this, and then you should see the link. Now, if you can't do that, okay, we have, let me see here. Really didn't have this all queued up, but I am going to do my best. Hold on, let me turn that off. I'll go here and then here, okay. This is our site, and You know what? Maybe one of the moderationists can throw a link on the screen for Joanne, and that link will be hot. By the way, this is how much we've raised so far. $5,575 so far on our, and when we're not on, this thing still continues to make money. And what we always like to say, the money does not stop here and then go to the Red Cross. It goes straight to them with, because I don't like nobody go, I notice you get one new car, right?
Yeah.
Because there are those people,
yeah,
right?
Definitely. Unfortunately, but that's true.
Unfortunately. Hey, before I forget, I want to ask you this question here. Garden Gully was saying, I want to hear more about the Timex watch face. Can we see a picture? And look at his avatar. But I get two different slipper because he got one aggressive dog.
Yeah. Anyway, the Timex. I was approached by Timex.
Yeah.
They actually did a story on me for they have a bi-monthly, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of not bi-monthly. I think bi-yearly kind of publication Timex does.
Wow.
And so they actually, this was Timex in Japan, and they actually, it was a really, really good publication, and they wanted me to talk about traditional tattooing. And when they did it, they translated it from English to Japanese to Hawaiian. Yeah. Yeah, the book was in English, Japanese, and Hawaiian. And what happened was, after that, there was a lot of interest, and so they asked me whether or not I could design some faces. So I designed 4 faces for them. It was on sale, maybe about 2 years ago or something?
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually available at this point. It was a limited run. Okay. I don't have any photos. I don't know if I even have any of the.
Well,
watches.
it was the Eevee bird.
No, it was a Koa'eula bird.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
It was a
By the
bird.
way, Aware just posted the link to the Red Cross thing, and when any of the moderationists post a link, it is hot. Unlike most people, right? If they just want to. So there we go. And Just Joanne C says, mahalo.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
That's
for
great.
you.
That's
I will share the link. Yes, please do. And a public service announcement, gang. I can't believe people do this, but there are some fake GoFundMe pages out there for people trying to scam. Wait a minute, hold on. Let's let the
ambulance go.
Yeah, evidently they've seen our content, and someone called the police. I'm sorry. I'm surprised Kinako isn't going nuts. I named my dogs Timex and Rolex. They are my watch dogs. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, okay. Okay. Hot links. You gotta get them while they're hot. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was a question that they wanted to know how tribal tattoos started. The reality is tribal tattoo has been with us since the beginning of tribes, in essence. But modern tribal tattoos started with a lot of people doing pretty much Indonesian tattoos, and it was
in Indonesia or
outside in California. It started in San Francisco. Actually,
what year are we talking about?
We're talking about like the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the mid 80s. And then it became, black work became really, really popular. So then...
what is black work?
Just solid black instead of like pictures with gray shading and things like that.
Oh, you mean not make the whole arm black, but just just boom like that, like those...
designs.
Yeah, designs.
Yeah. But in actuality, they have people now that do solid black work, like they'll black out their whole arm or black out their whole chest. I know somebody that just blacked out.
Is that dangerous health-wise?
depends on the ink, and I try and tell people, whenever you go into a tattoo studio or go to a tattooist, smell the ink. If it smells metallic, don't use it. Don't tell them you don't want to use it.
Smell the ink.
Yeah.
Sounds like an album.
Yeah, because and there is a way of telling between a carbon-based ink and an ink-based not
Carbon.
ink, no, not ink-based ink, yeah,
Yeah.
dye-based ink.
Okay. Oh.
And the easiest way to tell is to put a drop of the ink onto a piece of glass and put some alcohol not on it, but right on the side. And when it touches, if you see a bluish ring around the alcohol where it touches,
Yeah.
that's dye.
That's not good.
And that's not good. It'll turn really green after a while. Yeah.
Well, you know what though? Who would go into a tattoo studio and
Yeah.
go, "Excuse me, I'll get one piece of glass
yeah.
and my eyedropper. Come here." So
Well, yeah, that's the whole issue. You don't know what you're getting. That's why
Yeah.
an easy way is just to smell it. And if there's a metallic smell, an off smell, don't get it wet.
And if the tattoo artist is offended by you wanting to smell it, red flag.
Exactly.
Wow.
And always ask not for recent pictures of tattoos.
What?
In other words, don't ask for work that's just been completed, because every tattoo looks really good once it's done.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But especially with machine, yeah.
Yeah.
And what you want to do is you want to see how it looks a year later, because you can see whether or not the person overworked the skin or not.
That's one of the things that I really appreciate about your work, and I've said this to many people. It bugs me when someone goes, "Hi, look at this tattoo. What you think?" And you standing, a foot and a half away. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You go across the street and it just looks like a big bruise.
Yeah.
It doesn't accentuate the body and the shape.
Right.
You know?
Right. And that's something that needs to be looked at, So when you're getting a tattoo, really, really talk to the tattooist. Don't get it, the same day that you meet them. Just go and talk to them and see if it's a right fit for you. And that's what happens with me. I always insist on meeting with the individual prior to getting work done, or even agreeing to do the work. Because if I'm not the right fit, then I'll tell them. And, if you're here on vacation and want something to commemorate the time that you had with your girlfriend over here,
That's
or
not you.
boyfriend, that's not me.
That's not you.
Yeah.
What do they call those?
They call it
Souvenir tattoos.
souvenir tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not you. I
No.
know. I'm playing devil's advocate here, right?
Sure.
How many tattooers going, "Oh, yeah, bro, but, you Keone Nunes, man, you get choked people like you make tattoos for them. I'm trying to make a living."
Well, I don't have. Well, yeah, I do have a lot of people that ask me,
Yeah.
but maybe out of 100 people, I might talk to 10 of them.
You might talk to them.
Yeah.
You may, but do you answer
Oh,
100?
I'll answer them.
Okay.
And I'll look at their requests and I'll push them off to my students.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much something that is really important for me to actually work on people who appreciate the work. I don't want to work. I don't want to tattoo the whole world. I just want to tattoo people who are appreciative of the work and know the cultural significance of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it difficult not to make decisions based on money?
You shouldn't make decisions based on money.
in whatever you're doing.
in whatever you're doing, because you end up getting what you pay for. Yeah. And so if you want a cheap tattoo, I could tell you hundreds of places that'll do it.
Wow.
Now, in 5 years, it might not look the same as it did, once you put it on. So, and flash work, to me,
What is flash work?
flash work is when you pick a piece of art from a paper that has different type of designs.
Oh, okay.
When you have that, it's kind of unfortunate because you're carrying that and probably about 1,000 other people has the same designs
Yeah.
on them. So what
You
makes
mean
it unique?
my leopard with the claws?
Oh,
No.
No, it's not 1,000. It's probably 1 million people got that. Yeah.
But how many get born too loose?
Too loose.
Yeah, born too loose. Hello, guys. Hey, nanakuli, Rodney. How you, brother?
And Steven, the kind he asked about neon tattoos. I wouldn't. It's too much chemicals. You want to put that much chemicals in your body, it's entirely up to you. But you got to realize the largest organ on your body is your skin. Wow. So that's really important. You don't use things that don't really.
It seems like they would fade too. The lighter shades and colors.
Well, no. But one of the things, the neon colors, some of the neon colors are okay. It'll last and all of that. But again, smell the ink because they do use a lot of chemicals.
Yeah.
The other thing is that some neon colors get that brightness because they use plastics in the ink.
Oh.
So
I know.
Yeah.
And by the way, for all the people who just tuned in, when Keone says smell the ink, he's talking about before it's applied.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, don't walk up to somebody and go, hey, nice tack.
Yeah,
Excuse me, come here.
Yeah.
Woo!
You're going to be smelling their neck or what. Yeah.
Smell the ink.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever do color?
Yeah. I always do color.
With the traditional?
Yeah.
I thought it was all black.
Well, the presence of all colors is black.
Uh-oh.
That's true.
Yeah, Henry Ford would have loved your answer.
Yeah. And the absence of all colors is white.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do all colors all at once.
Okay. There we go. Oh, man. Okay, you know what? Let's take a little break here. Play play a video. I've randomly grabbed some, and then what we'll do is, if you have some questions, think about it. It doesn't necessarily have to be about tattooing, but when someone is world renowned, I have some questions about that. Okay, let's take a little musical break here.
Yeah,
Be about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Well, life has nearly killed me, and my mind has put me on the edge. Life has nearly killed me, and my mind has put me on the edge. Though I can barely crawl, I've got to walk where these angels' feet are tread. Darkness nearly drowned me. Sunlight alone, don't it burn my eyes? Darkness nearly drowned me, and the sunlight, Lord, don't it burn my eyes? This valley is much too deep, and this mountain so very high. My cup is nearly empty. I got such a long, long way to go. cup is nearly empty. Got such a long, long way to go. I got to lay down here and rest before I can take another step down that lonesome road. Where the darkness nearly drowned me, the sunlight burned my eyes. This valley is much too deep and this mountain so very high. I gotta lay down here and rest where I can take another step down this lonesome road. Well, my cup is nearly empty. I got such a long, long, long way to go. Darkness nearly drowned me. The sunlight burned my eyes. This valley is much too deep and this mountain so very high. I gotta lay down here and rest where I can take another step down this lonesome road. Well, my cup is nearly empty. I got such a long, long, long way to go. My cup is nearly empty. I got such a long, 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 long way to go.
Yeah, Stephen, it's funny because Keone just asked me the same question. Will we be doing podcasts when we're on the mainland? Well, I have a laptop and I have, I'm taking the GoPro. That's why the Kinako cam isn't working, because that's the camera I'm taking. And I have my phone over here. In fact, I don't even know if it's working, but let's see. Hold on. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So this phone here will be one of the other cameras, right? And then, it's just a matter of the sound, right? Because I don't want to take all these, all this stuff. So James and I will probably be sitting next to each other. So he'll be up here and I'll be down here, and we're going to do our best. But mostly it's going to be about vlogging. Yeah. Okay. And in fact, you see me practicing if you watch, YouTube on the Geeky playlist. I just posted a couple things. I'm starting to get back into vlogging. So.
I have to say this, Andy, because for a guy that would cut out school every time had big waves, you have become a technological genius.
No.
Yeah, it's true, bro.
No, I appreciate that, But, it was interesting because I was on Augie's TV show,
Uh-huh.
right? And he asked me a question, very interesting. And he said, I noticed you're always reinventing yourself, depending on the tide and what the economic situation, you reinvent yourself. And I said, bro, only people with money use the word reinvent, all the people from the country call that surviving.
Exactly.
Doing what it takes
Yeah.
to make it, right?
Yeah,
and
to
not
get
just,
by.
I'm not talking about getting rich. I'm talking about just
Yeah.
paying the bills and, doing the minimum,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, I could have, honestly. I know people, my friends, that are tattooists. One guy, he get one Ferrari, he get all kind custom make bikes and all that, and unfortunately, no, or fortunately, I am not like that. I couldn't see myself doing that.
So you're more what, Mercedes?
No, I got a Ford Ranger, bro.
Hey, look at my '89 Chevy truck, roll up windows, no air conditioning.
Nah, but I gotta tell you this: next year, that model of Ranger is coming to the U.S. and it's awesome.
It's not available
No,
here.
they make it in Thailand.
Oh, there
Yeah.
we go. Hey,
Yeah.
there's Lono. Speaking
Yeah.
of Lono, right there.
Yeah, how's it, Lono?
Yeah.
I just
But what is your goal? I mean, I know it's not money. It never has been. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's certainly, like when we drove through Waianae that time, and
Right.
you talked about just the mountains and the technologies that were lost and stuff.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about that, like the fish ponds thing? That whole idea is
Yeah.
just gone.
Yeah, in Waianae, they had several fish ponds, and one was right by Pokai Bay, and that idea comes from an idea of survival. A lot of people don't think of it in that way, but that's the ice box.
Yeah,
because
yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, the fish go inside
Yeah.
and grow bigger. And when you need it, you go in and harvest as much as you need, and not as much as you want. Or it's not about selling it or anything like
Yeah.
that, but as much as you need, and then it'll always be there. So that fish pond, that ice box, will always have food in it. And our idea of sustainability now is whether or not Costco get toilet paper.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. But that's something that unfortunately, with modernization, that's how people think. Yeah.
No, but they changed. They changed. I remember, remember Frank Pavi, right?
Yeah.
Right, and he told me one time. He goes, I get a hard time with my chest because I'm always in the ocean, always surfing, always doing something. And I go, bro, you got to cut back. He goes, bro, I gotta eat.
Yeah.
Because his idea was not to go to the store. His idea was to go to the ocean.
Yeah. And that's how it was. And, I think it's changed now. People's ideas is changing. The world is changing, I just had this conversation with, and James would have been good to be in this conversation because I remember playing football, and Lono would remember this.
Yeah.
When we had water breaks, our water break was a bucket of water with one towel inside.
Towel.
Yeah, one towel. And we would all suck from that towel. Yeah. And we never have, yeah, exactly. And we never have AstroTurf. So we had natural grass. And every time your hands went down,
Yeah.
was either on dirt, very little grass, or mud.
Yeah.
And when you grab that towel, you never wash your hands before that. And so sometimes the
Immunities.
yeah, well, yeah, and
Built
you
up.
sharing
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that, yeah. So
Wow.
Lono, I gonna be over here until basically the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, people would never do that now. So the whole ideology of what is good and what isn't is different.
Oh, well, you know, at the risk of sounding like a couple old guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, remember
We
when you climb on a jungle gym, the ground wasn't padded. The kids that fell, they learned hold tight, no fall. You know, drinking from the hose. Remember drinking? People, drink from the hose. I still do it.
And people don't realize, and I call this the McDonald's syndrome.
Huh?
Yeah, I call this the McDonald's syndrome. Is that we want immediate
gratification.
Yeah, well, some McDonald's is not immediate, but so we want gratification and we want it very shortly. And so, how many times did you go to McDonald's, order one sandwich or whatever, and you eat them and you don't even taste what you're eating? Yeah. But how many times have you gone out and worked on the yard, and after you pull work, you take one drink off the hose, and that's the most honor thing you've ever, because you've worked for it. Yeah. And so that's the difference for me. So, we've gone too much from McDonald's and not enough for the rubber hose.
Well, somebody was talking about, I think it was on a couple days ago, someone said, I loved after you go in the ocean, right? And then you take that beach shower, right? And the water tastes sweet. Because, you've been soaking in salt water and stuff. And it's just regular city and county water,
Exactly.
Unlike the volcanic water that you're drinking.
Right there you go. Hawaiian volcano.
Yeah, that's the last of the Mohicans right there.
Jeez.
Because we're going, when we come back, we're going to get some more cases. But
I really, really have grown to like this. Yeah. But that's one reason why, to be honest, that's one reason why I like being in Thailand, because for me, Thailand is like how Hawaii was when I grew up.
Pokoliti has a question about Thailand. Does it have its own tattoo tradition?
Yes, it does. And one of the tattoo traditions from up north is very interesting, because they tattoo between the belly button and the knees.
Huh?
Yeah. It's like shorts,
Like the Samoan thing?
Exactly. And that's very specific. So that came down from those areas, from Myanmar and all of that, into the Pacific. And it's that specific placement.
But I understand that the Samoan style of, the shorts tattoo, for lack of a better term, is to be purposely painful so that you learn from going through it. Is that a misconception?
I think that's a modern, to me, I think it's a modern myth. And Samoan tattoo, the Samoan tattooist has bought into it, And so they
it's like the movie Chief, where the guy, he can't save his son because he got so much pain.
Right. So, they have the long needle type and they have a tapping type. Ooh. So it's true that they have their own tattoo traditions. But, I'm not interested in learning that because that's something that they have to perpetuate. It's not for me to come in and say, oh, you know what, I'm a tattooist, I can do this. You know what I mean?
Here's a question. We both know that tattooing is a part of most cultures. Mm-hmm. Were there any cultures that were absolutely against it?
No.
Not Mormons, not...
No, I've tattooed Mormons. But now, in modern times, there is. In modern times, there is. But traditionally, Jewish people don't like to get tattooed. But the reason why was because of the concentration camps.
There's the numbers.
But prior to that, Jewish people got tattooed. Yeah, so that's the whole thing, you know. But yeah, I have
What about the Amish, K-Max says?
the Amish are actually German. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're German, and Germanic people had tattoos.
But maybe
again,
that one sect of the Germans didn't, the Amish people.
The Amish people, again, you're taking a modern concept because
Yeah, okay.
Christianity didn't come into Germany until, you know,
Yeah.
more, you know, when I say recent, I'm not talking about last year or something, but, you know, several hundred years ago. So, yeah.
You know, the comic in me says, well, the Amish, you know, they'll have a tattoo, but it has to be by Keone because they don't want to use a machine.
Yeah. So, you know, like the German cultures had, the Germanic cultures had, the Danish people had, all over Europe, there was tattooing that was done.
Let me ask you, you know when Mike Tyson did that thing around his eye?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, where was that from? Because I think it looks kind of cool, actually, but it reminded me of the Hawaiian thing, you know, like down the face, and he.
Well, he said that it was like his tribute to the Maui people because he admired their fierceness. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of.
Is that the correct Maori?
No, it's a tribal tattoo.
Okay, just a tribal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, you know, it's kind of interesting, you know, and tattoos had a different type of meaning for certain people. Yeah. You know, a lot of people, you know how sailors started to get tattooed?
No.
They started to get tattooed with crosses or the Corpus Christi that Jesus on their back.
Religion.
Yeah, religious tattoos on their backs.
So if they died?
No.
Oh.
So if they did something wrong, the captain, who was Christian, would never whip their back.
Because they had the cross.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So I should have put a picture of a beer bottle on my face so my father no whack me.
No whack you. Yeah. So, you know, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, to me, tattooing is very... If you study tattooing, the history of tattooing, you'll study the history of people.
Yeah.
And
tribalism.
Yeah. And realize one thing, that there are more commonalities within traditional peoples than there are differences.
Well, that's what we try to expound here, you know, where we say, listen, we concentrate on what brings us together, not what separates us. But the tattoo has always been, oh, you one of us.
Yeah.
Let me see your tattoo.
Yeah.
Like you take, for instance, the Hells Angels, right? If you join the group, the Hells Angels, you have to have a Hells Angel tattoo somewhere on your body.
Right.
And if you ever try to leave, they will take that off of you.
Yeah.
You know, because it's that strong. And that is tattooing.
Yeah, it's branding. It's taken something that is really really something that was special and unique and oftentimes spiritual.
Yeah.
And making it as a brand. And that's, you know, I don't know. But yeah, the question is, can I elaborate on Polynesian types of tattoos? You know, I don't know. There's different type of Polynesian types of tattoos. There's moko, there's puhoro, there's pe'a. They're all different types.
What about the meanings of them or the reason people would do them? Is that too general?
The reasons were very similar. If you're in the higher echelons of society, you get tattooed. Yeah.
Why? Because you could afford it, or
Because you could afford it. Because you could have people actually work while you're healing. Yeah. And all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's kind of very different way of thinking about things. Yeah.
Anne says, isn't tribalism just a fancy word to say family? Well, not really, because a lot of times a tribe, people weren't blood linked, but they were in the same area or believed the same things.
And tribalism is a Western concept, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so anyway. But, before it gets too late, I brought some gifts for you guys.
Oh.
For you and James.
Well.
And you guys can fight them all. Yeah.
Well, that means I'm not going to get my gift.
So I got sriracha sauce. Okay. A lot of people don't realize that sriracha is a place in Thailand.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so sriracha sauce is, so this is one called Crying Tiger. I know that people are having problems getting sriracha. So this is Crying Tiger.
Don't tell anybody my address.
And this one is called Flying Goose. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. A tribute to okay, I'll think about it.
Yeah. Anyway, so you guys can
Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes. Yeah. Flying Goose brand.
Yeah.
And there's another one called Gold Medal, but I couldn't bring it because Gold Medal is the best.
Yeah.
But it has glass bottles.
And you can't bring that on the plane?
It's hard because I don't want it to break. And the other thing I have is a lot of people don't realize that the biggest expat community in Thailand is Japanese. And so
look at this. Can sell on eBay for $60.
Probably more because the regular sriracha is $60. Yeah.
Wow.
So see, and it's different than it is different. The Thai sriracha is different.
Wow.
To me it tastes better. Anyway, so this is a Japanese company called Bloody Bunny.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so
let me give you the full.
It says, "Don't touch my mug," in case you're in a family of people that steals each other's mugs.
Look at all the cups James has.
Yeah, James.
You can add to his connection.
No, that's why you can take that one so he ain't could touch them.
Yeah, well, I got mine to heat up over here.
Yeah, and this one is it says you cannot read them. Forgive your enemy today. Yeah. Poison them the rest of the 364 days.
Oh my goodness, that's so zen.
Yeah. So anyway, that's for you guys.
Thank you so much, and we'll definitely get those two. I won't take them to Washington. The next time I see them will be tomorrow at the airport. Mahalo, bro. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
Okay, I love sriracha sauce right there. GB says that.
Sriracha is the kind.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good.
That's quite a divergence from old Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
Bloody Bunny.
Bloody Bunny.
Oh, man. Can you imagine someone thought that was a good idea to market? Right?
Mad Status is you like the second mug a lot.
Too funny. Yeah, roller derby girl, they're going, I can get behind that.
Really. Yeah.
Ooh, Keone has a very soothing voice.
Oh, thank you.
Well, he has to, because when he's talking to these people laying on his mat.
Yeah. Actually, Terry, that story is just one, because there is sriracha, different people who made different sriracha around the same time.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but in the same area of sriracha.
I've never had any. Describe the taste. Is it a hot sauce?
It's it's hard to say. It's kind of little spicy and kind of there's ketchupy, but there's garlic in it, and so there's a lot of different type of taste.
But it's not a hot sauce like you would.
Not like Tabasco.
Not like chili pepper water.
No.
Okay.
No, but it is spicy a little bit, so you gotta watch out. You know, I know.
Well, ever since I had the thing, and my throat is like, what?
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
And I forget. I forget it. Oh wow! Grab the kimchi. I know.
Yeah.
I feel like a tourist.
Yeah,
I know.
That's why hard.
Yeah, I put them in my ramen. Oh yeah, that sounds good. What do you like to put this on the most?
Oh,
Eggs.
no, they get like pork. That's one thing. If you guys like food, Thailand is amazing for food. You put them with dim sum and stuff like that. Oh, jeez, it's so good.
No, never had it.
And Kevin, it's not like Thai hot like you're mentioning, because Thai hot is very, very spicy.
Yeah.
But it tastes different than the sriracha over here. To me it tastes better, but it's kind of interesting. That's why I tell people.
But again, what do you put it on? What is your
like,
favorite thing to put it on?
Like on dim sum and stuff like that. And you can put them on noodles and stuff. So it's real good. With just about any. Well, you can put them on steak, on pork, on all kinds of stuff. Wow. Yeah, so that's really.
Can you put it on wasabi?
You can mix them with wasabi. Now, especially for you, I don't know. Huh?
Well, you know what? My son, who just loves hot, spicy food and stuff, I'm gonna say, okay, go easy on this.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna get addicted. They're not gonna want to use that Hui Fong brand anymore.
So this is a gateway spice.
It's a gateway to coming to Thailand. Yeah.
How's it, Steve Yosh? Long time no see.
Yeah. So this sriracha doesn't use like jalapenos and those type of peppers. It uses Thai peppers.
Yeah.
And so it's slightly different. Anyway,
Try ghost peppers. Nah, are you kidding?
yeah. So the thing that I think is really, I tell people, if you're from Hawaii, you're Hawaiian, go to Thailand, because there's so much correlation between the way that people act and all. Hey, aloha, how you doing?
We asked you a question, by the way, Miles.
Yeah. Well,
Were you here? Were you here, Miles? Because he said I have to go to dinner, so
Yeah. So anyway, there's so much correlations with customs and the way people treat each other.
Yeah.
And it's one of the safest places I've ever been to. So a friend of mine went to the BTS, which is the Bangkok Transit Authority, which is
their rail
rail
system. Yeah.
And he bought a ticket, and he put his phone on the ticket machine, and he got his ticket. Then maybe about 4 or 5 stops, he got on the train. 4 or 5 stops later,
Boom.
he remembered. He went back, and it was still there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course, it had been on Tinder. And he had some very interesting new friends.
Yeah. No, but it's
well, they
like
say that about Dubai. They say that about there's a few places left in the world.
Yeah. Well, the problem that a lot of people have with Dubai is they don't drink alcohol, and so alcohol and I know you don't. Yeah. But I can guarantee you that Thailand get better food than Dubai.
I'll bet you it does, guaranteed, and cheaper.
Way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
Yeah, because it's not. Grab in Dubai is Grab is like Uber.
Yeah,
Uber Foods. Yeah. Grab in Dubai delivers with Ferraris and Lamborghinis.
Right, but the only and then you get what, $100 tip? Well, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Uber Eats. I think
Yeah,
it's called.
yeah,
Uber
Uber
Eats.
Eats,
Yeah. Oh, and then Miles here, he says, Keone, can't listen right now, but mahalo again for connecting with me. with
Kamali'i.
yeah, Kamali'i. I guess he did
He did
Ma's
the work.
work. He
Yeah,
did
yeah,
Ma's
yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of things that remind me about Hawaii when I grew up. When you grew up too.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's different than people
Is there
like
surf there?
that. Yeah. There's all kinds of islands, bro.
Oh, okay.
All kinds of islands. Yeah. And so, if any of the Hemajeng gang ever goes, let me know.
Let them know right here. Yeah,
Yeah.
And we'll be the clearinghouse. Okay, you know what? Let's check this here one more time before we go. We're at the top of the hour. We can keep going. You tell me, bro. And then I'm gonna refresh this. Wait a minute. What are we looking at here? Wait, I gotta click this, and then there we go. Okay, and then what does it say? 5575. Let me refresh it and see if we have had any new donations during the show here. 5575 still, and how respectable is that? We started, our goal was 3,000 because you have to put something. You can't just leave it blank. So then we hit 3 pretty quickly. Then we went to 5, and then blew past 5, and now we're at 8. So guys, this is where you can do that. And again, if you're geeky inclined, right? Wait, hold on. Concentrate. Okay, here. If you're kind of geeky, you can hit this QR code, and that'll take you there. And also, if you would like to support the Maui Humane Society, this is their QR code. And you can go there because the animal situation, certainly the human situation is catastrophic, but with that comes a number of animals that are just wandering around, or people who are looking for them.
Right.
So that's what they do to help there. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And paranormal obake stuff in Thailand. Yeah, they're plenty ghosts over there, and Thai people really believe in ghosts, and it's kind of interesting because if they know someone died in a hotel, they will not stay in it.
What?
Oh yeah.
Anywhere in the hotel?
Anywhere in the hotel.
Well, it's gotta be someone died in every single hotel.
No, over there is it's interesting. The hotels, if you ask, the hotels have to say whether or not that happened.
So if you're a comedian and you perform in a hotel, never tell anybody, that's not a died.
Yeah. No. So it's kind of interesting. And Pokoliti, that's true. Women are, if you're traveling by yourself, women no need worry about stuff. You can go out 2 o'clock in the morning, nobody can bother you.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of different. And one of the good things is if you're an expat, you cannot own a gun over there. So there's very little gun violence.
You cannot own a gun in Thailand.
You cannot if you're an expat. If you're if you're a national, you can.
Okay.
But there's very little gun violence about there.
Right.
I cannot tell you a ghost story right now because it's going to take half hour.
But I will say the reason they don't want expats to have guns is because that's how annoying they are.
Oh, let me tell you. The one thing good about the way I look and the way that anybody from Hawaii would look is that we look like we local, kind of half Thai or whatever.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's great.
And so we get to pass, But as that, when I'm riding the BTS, when I'm riding the train, I tell you, some guys are so annoying that you just wanna.
Are you talking about people, not the locals, tourists?
Yeah.
Believe me.
So annoying. But what people don't understand is like Hawaii has maybe how many million tourists? Maybe about 30 million
A year?
Visit?
Yeah, something like that. That's just Waikiki alone.
Yeah. And Thailand, opened up in September, almost a year, got almost, I think something like about 250 million tourists that have come through.
Well, you're gonna get freaks.
Yeah. Kevin, I'll be honest with you, there's nowhere in Honolulu that has real Thai food.
My goodness.
I mean, because all the Thai restaurants in the U.S. cater to American tastes.
Yeah. That's like Mexican food in California. Mexicans go, what do you call this Mexican food?
Yeah. So,
Let me tell you my ugly American story. Okay. So I was doing a film in Israel, right? And we were out in the desert with the Bedouins, right? I mean, this was just like, what? We're out in the middle of this nowhere, and the Bedouins would make food, and we loved it. It was great. Well, this friend from America, right? There's a dog, and the dog's standing there. He's going, sit, stupid dog, sit, right? And I go, bah, he doesn't speak English. This is a Bedouin dog.
All right.
He turned to me and literally said, every dog knows sit. and that mentality, you just have to go, yeah, okay, my bad, sorry, and just walk, because you're not going to.
You don't get
The idea that a dog wouldn't speak English, what are you kidding? I know, it's too much. And that's just scratching the surface of what you were talking about.
Yeah. Some people, when you go and visit a temple in Thailand, you gotta, if you're a woman, you have to cover your shoulders and wear a dress or long pants. Yeah. And you wouldn't believe how many people just try to get into temples by justifying them. It's too hot. We can't wear this. And well, then don't come.
Yeah.
It's just.
They have what they the Western Wall in Israel, right?
In Israel.
Well, women, the sound of a woman's voice is considered lascivious, right? So they're not allowed to, do the open prayers, and they have at least it was like this. It could have changed, right?
Yeah.
This was 32 years ago. Anyway, I'm there, and they had a barrier. Women on this side, men on this side, but the women were treated completely different. Totally unfair. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
American girl with a tank top walks up and just starts, going for it. Yeah. And I see this rabbi look over, and I'm thinking, oh man, he's going to chastise her, right? He picked up a folding chair and hit her with it.
Oh my.
Bam! And I went, what?
Yeah.
And they just drug her out. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And I went, okay.
And it's amazing when you travel how many English-speaking people, and it's not just Americans, but people from England and Australia and stuff, don't think that Thai people can understand English. And so you're over there sitting. I'm over there sitting, and these guys are talking loud, and they're bragging on Thailand in front of Thai people. And I know that some Thais understand. They're looking at them like they're ready to jump them. Yeah. But, they have respect at least for that individual.
And that's why you hear so many Americans, when they go someplace and they hear people, they must be talking about us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And by the way, this is not a generalization on all tourists.
Right,
it's that small percentage of people that make everyone look bad. And that's kind of how the internet is to me.
Right.
You get that one loud noise, that hater that just does dumb things.
Right.
And everybody goes, oh, the internet is a terrible place.
Right. Yeah. So, there's a lot of good, when you travel, there's so much really, really good places in the world to travel. Yeah. If you are respectful, and that's real good.
Do you have to give up your citizenship to live in Thailand?
No. No, but I have
You
to.
have dual?
I have to reapply for a retirement visa every year.
Every year?
They have this thing called Elite Visa where you can go ahead and purchase a visa that will be good for 5 years.
Oh, I see.
And stuff like that. So, but it's
Well,
it's
you're probably used to it because here in Hawaii, you got to register your car. So I got to go register me.
okay. I gotta tell you this: they make Ford Rangers, a new one. It hasn't come out in the U.S. yet.
Yeah.
They make Ford Rangers in Thailand. I got the top of the line Ford Ranger Wild Track, 4x4. Yeah, diesel engine, dual turbo, one for the low end, one for the high
How many
end.
cylinders?
It's only 4 cylinders.
Yeah,
but,
well, the new Bronco, they have one with 3.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
put a turbo on it, it
Yeah.
gets 300, horses.
Yeah. So anyway, I bought my truck,
Yeah.
out the door, 37,000.
Wow. Well, that's still a lot of money.
Yeah, but
That's American.
American, but they cover all the paperwork money. They pay for all the paperwork.
Yeah.
They tint it fully inside. Yeah, and they give you 1 year free full coverage insurance.
Well, that's okay. That's not a lot of money though, is it, for a truck like that? Isn't it? What is
Yeah.
that? Maybe $1,000 or something?
No, with everything included, probably about close to about 2, I'd say.
Wow. Well, still, yeah,
Yeah.
that's something. Hey, Kenny, how you, bro? I hope you're all right, brother. Right there, Maui boy. Right there.
Yeah.
James, and again, I'm chilling in, he's in Birmingham, Washington. Just got back from Sturgis. Oh, that's right. You're on the road, you bugger. He's one of these brothers that takes his bike over to San Diego and rides to Sturgis and back and then puts it back on a boat.
Wow.
Yeah, we rode together over there and on the Big Island. Yeah.
Oh, Kevin, to answer your question, you can get Social Security, but Medicare is not covered over there. But I have medical insurance. I'm 66 years old. I have medical insurance. It covers this guy I knew. He had hip replacement surgery. Cost about $7,000 US. He paid out of pocket. My 200,000 baht. My insurance covers 15 million baht. So and zero deductible, zero copay, $4,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah. And no need worry
Well,
about stuff.
We spoke one time, and you said that was part of the reason you went to Thailand, because
exactly.
you realized that the medical part would be the biggest expense going forward.
Yeah, I don't want any of my family members or my wife to feel that they needed to pay for my medical care. So,
Well, when I had the cancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had money, I had savings, I had full, medical, all that. It came this close to bankrupting.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I went, how can people who don't have, money do
Right.
this? It wiped me out.
Yeah.
And not to mention that you can't work for that year and a half that you have it, but still just some of those tests are $5,000, $30,000,
Yeah, that's true.
It's crazy.
But an interesting thing about the insurance I have, it'll cover the entire world except the U.S. Yeah.
Because they don't want guys from here.
No, because the U.S. is so expensive. Yeah. And the insurance that I have will give you a certain amount of money back every day that you're in the hospital, so that you have money when you get out.
Wow. Pokoliti says, I've been to 40 countries. With a few exceptions, all the people I've met are basically good, kind, humble, curious, and friendly.
Yeah.
The world is a wonderful place full of hammerjangers.
Yeah.
It is. It is generally I believe that people are generally good.
Yeah, I believe that too, and that's why you shouldn't act like a jerk when you're over there, wherever you go.
The interesting thing for me, and when I, being in show business, right? Believe me, I've met some jerks.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
a lot of them don't know they're jerks.
Yeah.
You know, he just went, excuse me, you don't see that as rude? You don't, what? They're like oblivious. Go, no, brah. You know? See, I just had one item. He has 20 items. Why shouldn't I be allowed to step in front of him and just ring up? I don't get, you're like, brah.
I just seen that actually a couple of days ago. I went to Costco, same scenario.
Yeah.
And this guy says, "Oh, excuse me, I have one thing. Can I go in front of you?" And the woman said, "Oh, you know, I'm next, and I really have to go out in the car because my kids are waiting for me." And he just
Went off.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh," I was like, you know.
I have to tell you, you know, when we were raising my children, and this is my wife,
Right.
you know, mostly, she said, you know, when the kids ask for something, she says, okay, I know you want this ice cream and you've prepared your mind for a yes. Have you prepared your mind for a no?
Yeah.
Okay, so because when you come into somewhere where someone has a choice, it might be yes, it might be no. Prepare for both of them.
Yeah.
And that guy at the counter you just talked about, he did not prepare himself for a no.
Yeah, he was ready to get out of there.
Yeah,
You know,
he was
it's-
ready to pink.
Yeah, that's why hard.
Ignorance is bliss. Yeah, unless you're on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
So anything you want to finish up with? You know, I know, you know, I think back to when we drove around Waianae that time when we were doing In the Car, I
Right.
think, right? And you went off on, you know, I want to say technologies, but that's not what it is. You know, the lifestyles that were lost because of the way modern society is.
Right.
You know, you listen to that siren in the background there.
Right.
You know,
Right.
have things changed in your mind?
You know what? I can honestly say that I've seen a huge change in the U.S. You know, living outside of the U.S. and coming in,
Yeah.
I've seen a huge change. I think
For the better?
not really. You know, the thing that I think is the government and people in the U.S. are reactionary. They're not proactive. And so they'll react to a lot of things and are not proactive. I'll give you an example. In Thailand, when the inflation was starting to go up, and we're not talking about huge jumps, just really slight. They realized that if they didn't do something now, it would be disastrous for the people in a couple months or so. So they put a cap on diesel because everything is
Runs on diesel.
the trucks and all that.
Generators.
So they put a cap on diesel. They also put a cap on eggs. They put a cap on pork. They put a cap on chicken. So that the inflation rate was very, very low in Thailand.
How did the people who sold gas and chicken and eggs and such react?
They for them, you know, it didn't, because the transportation, the delivery and all of that wasn't going up.
Their costs didn't go
Yeah,
up.
their costs didn't go up, and so
Wow.
So it's really interesting how they do things. And you know what, they when the pandemic was going on,
Yeah.
if you bought into pandemic insurance, Thai people bought into it, and they got that illness, they got 100,000 baht because they knew they couldn't. The people
What does that equal to? 100,000 baht.
about $3,000.
Oh, okay.
So they knew that the people couldn't work, but they needed to
And
maintain their household.
you could buy that insurance.
Yeah, and the insurance was only like 100 baht. It was like about $3. Yeah, and so you know, they're very proactive. Everything is relatively inexpensive.
What would be your suggestion other than come to Thailand for people in America, writ large, and not just the Hawaii people.
I think what needs to be done is the mindset has to change, and it's very difficult because it's not the people who are making the decisions. They have to change their mindset and become more proactive instead of reactive.
You're talking not the people making the decisions, but the people in by and large.
Yeah, by and large, and because
Wow.
the general population is reactive also, so the leadership is reflective of that general population because they're trying to, sustain those people because they're the people that vote them in, right?
Yeah.
So it has to come from both ends.
But it must be very interesting, to look at it when you say, I'm not just saying you should do this. I'm looking at a country that does do it that way, and it's working.
Yeah, it is. Thailand has its own problems. There's no government that's perfect.
Yeah.
But I am always interested to see the fact that they do things differently and they care about their citizenship
Why do they do things so differently?
because they've never been colonized. Thailand has never been colonized. So they were self-determinant from the get-go.
Wow. So they never had an ideology come in from offshore going, no, we're going to do it like this. And then they get taken over again. No, we're changing it. Now we're going to do it this way.
Yep. And so,
Wow.
So that's why they think differently. Yeah. And
Because they think on their own.
yeah, they think on their own. They think they're independent. One of the things that I truly shocked me when I realized it is that in the village where my wife is from, real rural, very, very country, very little foreigners live there. Every morning and every evening, there's a farmer's market. And at first I was thinking, hey, it's good, it's convenient. Even in Bangkok, in this big city, and people don't realize how big Bangkok is. Yeah. Bangkok is big, the city is bigger than Oahu.
Wow.
Yeah, the entire island. So even in Bangkok, they do this. In the morning and in the evening, they have farmers markets. But in the country, all of the produce comes from within 50 miles of that village. So they're totally self-sufficient.
That was
And-
Waianae in the ancient times.
Exactly. That was Hawaii in the ancient times. And Bangkok houses 16 million people.
Wow.
And it still works, That's why we could learn from them. But the US thinks in a sense that,
Yeah. Sorry, the comic in me went 16 million. Yeah, but 6 million of them are OnlyFans. So they got no problem. Oh, man, that's amazing.
yeah, it is. And you see how it runs.
Yeah.
It's,
And is
it's
it
really
safe, like you
good. It's
described?
very safe. Yeah. And who's that was saying that, they was walking around. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. And the more interesting thing is that their government is exactly the same as our monarchy was. So they have a lower house, which was our House of Commons. They have an upper house, which is the House of Nobles in Hawaiian.
Yeah.
And they make the legislation, and the king has to sign off of it. It was exactly like Hawaiian monarchy was run.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why you guys got to come.
That's where we got to go.
Yeah. So
Look at Caffeine Addict says sustainability.
exactly.
Well, I'll tell you what, bro. This I knew this would happen, and I loved the turn it took. Away from your tattooing, and I didn't get around to asking you what it was like to be a world-renowned anything. But what wonderful observations about humanity and politics and the monarchy.
Thank you. And I try to stay away from U.S. politics, but I'll talk about Thai politics.
Well, and how it relates to the Hawaiian politics at the time. A lot of people, with Kamehameha, they went, oh, well, he did this, he did that. Well, guess what?
Yeah. The caffeine addict, that's not true. Not all monarchies are related in a sense, because the English one is a figurehead.
Yeah.
And so they don't have decision-making abilities, whereas in Hawaii and in Thailand they do. The monarch does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not all of them were excellent people either.
Exactly.
Just like everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, bro. Hey,
Okay.
Mahalo nui loa. Thank you so much,
Anytime, bro.
Keone. Well, anytime you're here, let's do it again.
Okay.
All right, gang.
Okay.
So that's our show. Thank you. Took a wonderful turn, and I'm gonna hit the button now. All right, you guys. Right on. And let's read a couple comments on the way out. Awesome show. Great information on Thailand tattooing, empathy for each other, and different beliefs.
Yeah,
And Nani Aloha
exactly.
says here, hey, mahalo for sharing with us today. Mahalo. Thank you for coming through. Yes, I know. He said he'd be here, and he was. Great show. Good night, Caffeine Addict. There we go. And Felicia, our front row hottie. Thanks, Keone. Mahalo nui loa. Okay, we're going to hit the button. You ready for doot, you guys? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Dude.